Kazakhstan has chosen the multi-vector integration. Its trends, collisions, and prospects are coming up in the single market program.
Knocking on closed doors. Apparently this popular expression was invented by a pessimist. For example, for solving the business problems, it is recommended to conversely seek for solid arguments in order to have access to the profitable partners, lending resources, and finally be allowed to enter the export market. Hello, my name is Pavel Kokdyshev, and you are watching the Single Market Program. Coming up, Moscow opened the door for Kazakhstani business. How to challenge yourself. Experience of an enterprise in Almaty. And Navigator right now. When will the Brexit's fog melt away? Realities and forecasts. Hello, I'm Alexander Galiev, and Navigator is studying the effects of Brexit for the EAEC countries. Results of the UK voting for the UK leaving the EU appeared to be both surprising for the UK government and those who initiated the plebiscite. Someone considered it as the public reaction to globalization, someone as the migration policy of the European Union. Experts started to count the losses the United Kingdom might incur due to the leaving of the European Union. Developers and real estate owners are getting prepared for tough times, as British real estate was extremely attractive for foreign investors for many years. But the main hazard for the economy of the foggy Albion is that such an exit from the EU, England would lose the rights which allowed the British financial companies to successfully sell their services in the EU. Therefore, today the UK government is building new vectors for national development and diversifying the old opportunities. And now let's discuss the weather forecast in a field designated as the Eurasian Economic Union in the United Kingdom. Surely the foggy Albion is the major economic player for the EAEC. But today, time is against the official London, as the Chinese vector is very active today. This vector creates a real opportunity for the Eurasian integration, and this progress is overwhelming. It makes the strategically important transport corridors, opens large terminals, and forms the logistics hubs. In terms of this model, speaking about the prospects of the UK cooperation with the EAEC, a situation Britain may face is akin to driving with a flat tire along the highway. A few facts about it. Russia is a major exporter for the UK, but currently the amount of the Russian supplies to the market of the foggy Albion has significantly decreased. In 2015, the exports fell immediately by 31%. The general trade turnover between Russia and the UK has decreased by 46%. Belarus, UK ranks the second after Russia as the most significant investors. In 2015, the UK share in the Belarusian investment portfolio was more than 20%. Kazakhstan, in terms of the capital raised, the UK is the third investor for this member of the Eurasian Economic Union. Share of the British investments in the total volume of foreign investments in the Kazakhstani economy is 14%. Generally, the analysts intend to believe that Brexit would hardly affect the economy of the EAEC so dramatically. However, the problems that arise in the United Kingdom in the transition may adjust the investment prospects of the Eurasian integration countries. That's all for today. See you in the next Single Market. Trade and economic relations between Kazakhstan and Russia under the EAEC should gain new impulse. Yes, it should. But today, such a convincing factor as sales volume shows a negative trend due to some objective and subjective reasons. In 2014, it was $17 billion. In 2015, it fell immediately by 25%, but in the best of times, the turnover reached $30 billion. Today, Russia and Kazakhstan understand that more mobile interaction forms must be sought in terms of the new reality. One such event was held recently in Moscow. Zulfiya Temirgalieva will continue the subject. Discuss the realities and prospects of cooperation, offer proposal for development of the trade and economic relations, make the presentations about the enterprise capabilities, negotiate face-to-face, as they say, and immediately sign the contracts if everything is okay. What could be better than a business forum? That was the format of a meeting between the Kazakh and Russian business communities in Moscow. Based on the number of participants, we can judge about the attitude of the Kazakh-Russian Business Forum. A team of speakers consisted of the representatives of the Eurasian Economic Commission, the Embassy of the Republic of Kazakhstan in the Russian Federation, the Russian Ministry of the Economic Development, and Chamber of Commerce. Kaznext Invest, the National Agency for Export and Investment, headed the Kazakhstani businessman delegation. More than 30 Kazakh manufacturers participate in this forum. They're quite well-known manufacturers in Kazakhstan. They have extensive experience in the foreign economic activity. These manufacturers are engaged in very different fields of activity: metallurgical, mechanical engineering, construction, consumer goods, and food industries. First of all, these arrangements enhance the recognizability of the Kazakhstani manufacturers abroad. And surely the Kazakh manufacturers get the opportunities to find new contacts and expand their export contracts. But before making it all possible, the participants of the Moscow Business Forum reminded about the outcome of the trade between Russia and Kazakhstan for the last 2 years. They also made some forecasts for 2016, as 3 months are left before 2017.
Была отмечена некоторая стагнация и последовавший спад.
Some stagnation and subsequent drop has been noted by 15% starting from 2014 and by 27.8% or 28% in 2015. In 2016, the negative trend remains. Everyone realized a long time ago that we had faced the challenges of new order in terms of the current difficult economic realities.
Мы столкнулись с вызовами нового порядка.
But everything's relative in this world, and without any doubts, it refers to the export flow as well. That's why the common sense makes us to consider all the shades, including the comparative figures. We notice that our sales turnover within the Eurasian Union has fallen by approximately 20%, more or less in some years. But in terms of international relations with 3 countries, it fell even more by 30%. It means that we need to consider the downward trend in the sales turnover in the Eurasian Economic Union by focusing on the internal and external problems. These factors include outflow of the foreign investment and falling of the global demand for the exchange commodities, which affect the Russian and Kazakhstani economy to a greater degree. These adverse processes have forced both countries to recourse to such a forced action as targeting. It resulted in significant adjustments of the national currencies, which in return affected the value terms of these goods. As the physical sales volume has not almost changed, then the actual trade trends between Russia and Kazakhstan remained at the same level. Reduction of the Russian supplies to Kazakhstan in physical quality was less than 2%. Reduction of the Kazakh supplies is a bit higher, but this is due to the specifics of large individual contracts. In 2016, we are observing a growth of interchange compared to 2015 in some groups of commodities. For example, in the first 6 months of 2016, there were more supplies from Russia to Kazakhstan, increase of supplies of furs and fur products by 10%, mineral products by 3.8%, food by 2%. In return, Kazakhstan increased its exports to Russia, metals by 44%, textiles and footwear by 40%. In addition, Kazakhstan increased its supplies of agricultural products by 2.7-fold and machinery-producing industry by 2-fold. One specific feature is observed in the geography of the Kazakhstani exports. 70% of the goods are exported to the Russian border regions. That's why we are targeted to diversify, and the Kazakhstani business is ready to reach and conquer the big cities and metropolis like Moscow. This willingness could be noted during the presentation of the Kazakhstani manufacturers, the negotiations held in the B2B format, and contracts conclusion. Our company has signed an exclusive agreement in Moscow. We would purchase all the products manufactured by Alina company and represent it in the market. We are a so-called dealer in Moscow. This company decided to act as the distributors after feeling confident in having positive results. The Kazakhstani Alina company produces the dry construction mixtures which successfully compete with the famous European brands in some Russian regions. We feel confident in the Russian southern regions. We have our representative offices in 6 cities. In 2016, we entered the market in Kazan and Moscow. The Moscow Forum became an effective platform due to its interactive mobile format. 3 actions important for the cooperation development simultaneously took place here, such as problem analysis, finding new contacts, and start for real contracts, which are the main advantages of such events. At the Kazakh-Russian Business Forum, the unique selling proposition and optimal conditions were the main important factors, and surely something called magic, or the energy of communication, more truly. Generally, this Moscow meeting proved that such business forums are very useful, actual, and effective. Zulfiya Timirgaliyeva, Askar Aitkenov, Moscow, Special Report for Single Market. Almaty is one of the most active Kazakh cities in terms of development of small and medium businesses. According to the analysis, business nature of the southern metropolis is mainly explained by the well-developed banking infrastructure. However, there are many companies in Almaty which have developed without having any credit resources. How could they manage the market competition? Maria Kuznetsova was seeking an answer in one of the enterprises in Almaty. Usually only the lazy are not complaining for the difficulties in making business. But the irony is that, in the current reality, nothing else but crisis is the most successful period for taking risks and winning. As the saying goes, when one door closes, another door opens. In this case, everything must be done gradually instead of expecting immediate results. Step by step, as said by the Americans. This is how Alcom Engineering, the Almaty enterprise, is developing its business. In 2012, Aljanov brothers rented a small shop on the outskirts of the southern metropolis. They installed the equipment purchased at their own expense and started producing steel doors. For 3 years, the personnel number has increased from 7 people to 70. They've expanded the enterprise capacity by 16.5-fold. We have the highest production rate in Kazakhstan, 500 steel door units. More than 7 retail stores in Almaty. We have branches and dealers in other cities of Kazakhstan. Today, we are the largest manufacturers of steel doors in Kazakhstan. We have not heard that someone is producing more. In addition to the production volume, this company produces high-quality and more effective products, although this field-oriented sector is characterized by competitive environment. In searching production of metal doors on the internet, we would have 385 results only in the city of Almaty. Begs the question, how could this enterprise win the rightful place in the market? Ultimately, effective competition is useful for the end consumer. We're not afraid of it. Every time we are challenging ourselves in manufacturing new high-tech stuff. It turns out that high-tech stuff can be manufactured in any segments, as the same item assumes plenty of modifications, including the steel doors manufacturing process. We produce industrial doors, fireproof and security doors, doors for private residences, and the construction industry. The major part of the equipment used in the workshop is made by the efforts of their own specialists. The company is especially proud of its 5-chamber furnace. They would have to pay $80,000 if they bought it from a foreign company. But this engineering marvel costed 4.5 million Kazakhstan tenge, about 6 times cheaper. We have already learned making the milling machines. We managed to make the plasma cutter for the metal finishing. Technically, we have good quality products. We have even managed to sell several machines. Manufacture of machines is a new and an additional company profile. In terms of this product, the company is ready to compete with the Russian and Chinese companies launching the steel arguments. Cost of the Chinese machines of the same quality as we produce is 2-3 times more expensive than ours. And by the way, we provide commissioning service. This plant is challenging the potential competitors by using a marketing mix, full testing of machines in operation, and receiving an order for production automation with some certain warranties. MDF is imported from Russia, PVC film is delivered from Israel, and paints from Italy. If we had it all produced in Kazakhstan, it would be cheaper and more accessible. Yes, that's a dream, but actually 70% of local content is also a good result in terms of Kazakhstani reality. Moreover, by optimizing the production, they have achieved a price and quality balance of their products. This was already estimated by the construction companies involved in the construction of the facilities of the Astana Expo 2017 International Exhibition Center. They ordered steel doors from the Almaty company Alcom Engineering. On one hand, it's a great challenge to receive orders of such prestigious projects as Expo. On the other hand, it's a window of new opportunities. Maria Kuznetsova, Bakhtijan Bakhriev, exclusively for single market. And that's all for today. I'm Pavel Kokdyshev. Let me remind you that you can find all our stories at www.kazakh-tv.kz. See you in the next Single Market, the territory without borders.